I hope everyone is staying healthy and staying safe during this MCO period. And today we are learning handy Excel shortcuts to speed up your work. My name is Juliet. I have 10 years worth of training experience under my belt, and I am a Microsoft certified trainer. So you can see my current badge that I am certified this year through 2021. Now, I'm not going to repeat the same introduction as yesterday because most of you has joined me then. What I'll do is I'll just go through some key points as a refresher for us this morning. I'll be following the same format. I'll be doing a 30 minutes presentation and then give us about 15 minutes of Q&A session after. Today, I have two senior trainers assisting me, Saiful and Angie. They are very experienced Excel trainers, and they will help me to answer any questions that you have in the text chat. During the 15 minutes Q&A session, you can also voice chat with me, and whatever questions we did not answer in the text chat, please be assured that I will go through them one by one in the afternoon and answer them on the Microsoft Teams text chat. Again, if I can establish some house rules, I would really appreciate it if everyone could keep your mics muted for the presentation. This is to ensure that everyone can comfortably hear me. And if you could also turn off your cameras to improve the bandwidth to ensure everyone has a smooth training experience. Now, what I'm sharing here today are some shortcut keys that I've collected over the years. And shortcut keys are very popular with anyone who uses Excel frequently because it can really speed things up. I'm not only sharing shortcut keys today, I'm also sharing some formulas for us just to learn some new things now. So I'm going to switch over to my Excel worksheet. If you can give me a minute to do that. All right. So again, there are two ways for you to participate. You can be a passive observer. You can look at me complete these exercises, and then you can try it out yourself. Or you can follow and do it together with me. I know I am going a bit quick for this workshop. It's because I'm trying to squeeze in a lot of content in the 30 minutes. Yeah, so if you find that you're struggling to follow my steps, please remember that we have provided the completed exercises, which has all the answers for your reference and some notes, just to jog your memory in the future. And I am also listing down every single shortcut key that I'm sharing in this session. Yeah, so please be assured that all the help is here for your future reference. Now, coming back to this, let's start our session. So I have a couple of formulas to share here. The first one being a count formula. So the count formula will actually count how many cells contain numbers. I have 17 cells with data over here, and you can see there's a mixture of stuff going here. I have some numbers, some text, well, two texts, and one empty cell. So the formula is very straightforward. If I open up the count formula and I highlight my range of data, I close bracket and I hit enter, you'll see that they will return me 14. So if we take a look at our range of data here, 17 cells, out of which that is text, that is text, that is empty. So there's 3 cells that are not numbers, which means 14 is correct. Now count A will count any cells that have content. Yeah, it can be numbers, it can be dates, it can be text. As long as it has content, they will count it. So if I do the same thing, but opening up the count A formula, you'll see that it will return me with the number 16, because out of our 17 cells, only one cell is empty. So count blank, as you almost can guess, counts how many blank cells we have. So if I highlight those 17 cells, you see that we have one blank cell, so I should get number 1. Yeah, quite easy to calculate automatically what you have in your cells. Now moving on to large and small, the large and small formula will return the largest or the smallest K value. So what do I mean by K value? So if I highlight my data range, comma, and I put in a number 2. So when I put in a number 2, it means I want to see the second largest number in my highlighted range. Now, to do this manually, my largest number is 489, and my second largest number should be 446. So if I type a 2 at the end here, close bracket, hit enter, I should get a 446. So it returns the second largest number. If I change that to 3, it should return the third largest number. So that should be 445, which is correct here. Now for small, it does the exact same thing, but opposite. It returns the smallest number. So if I type 2, I'm indicating that I want to see the second smallest number. So if you take a look at my data over here, my smallest number is 40, and my second smallest number is 48. So I should get, sorry, my smallest number is 23. I missed that. So my smallest number is 23. That is my second smallest. If I change that to 3, that should be 48, which is my third smallest number. So that's what these two formula does. It returns ranking for you. They're useful when you're trying to come up with like the top 5 sales figures for product X, for example. So moving on to the second worksheet, randomizing data. This is actually a formula I use very often to create dummy data for myself to manipulate inside Excel. So the formula is called rand between, and the rand between formula allows you to specify the smallest number and the largest number that you want to randomize between. So you get to specify the min as well as the max. So I'm trying to randomize sales data, let's say 50,000 and 500,000. So my min is 50K, my max is 500K. Close bracket, hit enter. If I copy that across, you'll see that the numbers being randomized are indeed between 50,000 and 500,000. So very useful formula. I use this very often to create dummy data for me to manipulate inside Excel. Now, one thing about the randomizing data formula here, rand between, if I start to type stuff inside Excel, you'll notice that the data continues to be randomized. And you don't necessarily want the data to continue randomizing like this. So what I usually try to do after I've created the formula is I want to detach the formula so that I maintain the numbers. So what I'll do is I'll copy the formula, and in the Home tab, again, locate the Paste button, which is made up of 2 buttons, and we want to make use of the bottom part of the Paste button. Locate the category Paste Values. Any of these buttons will do, as long as they are under the Paste Value category. So I'm going to click on that, and you'll notice now, when I double click, the formula is detached from the cell. Therefore, when I type something here, the data will stop randomizing. So I do this pretty frequently. I will use the rand between, randomize all the cells I need, I'll copy it, and then I'll paste it as values so that they stop randomizing. Moving on to the date and time worksheet. Let me just zoom in here for our comfort. So there are two ways for us to do a date stamp or a time stamp. Yeah, I'll show you a way with formula and a way without formula. So if I want to do a date with formula, the formula is called today. Simple formula, just open and close the brackets, hit enter, and that will show you today's date. Now, anything with a formula, so we know this has a formula behind it, anything with a formula will auto-update. Meaning to say, if I open this file tomorrow, the date will change to 9th of April. If I open this next year, it will change to year 2021, and so on and so forth. So anything with a formula will auto-update. If I don't prefer it to auto-update, we can use a shortcut key, and that shortcut key is Control semicolon. I'll go ahead and type in Control semicolon, and you'll see that it also will do a date stamp with me. But if I double click, there is no formula behind this. There's a formula behind this. So this date stamp that does not have a formula will always retain 8th of April 2020. Even if I open it tomorrow or next year, the date will retain 8th of April 2020. So for time, there's a formula called now. So also open and close bracket, hit enter, and we get the date as well as the time. Again, same concept with the date with formula. As long as there's a formula, this will auto-update tomorrow when I open it up. So if I want to do it without a formula, the shortcut key is this, Shift Control semicolon, and that will give me a timestamp. Yeah, so two ways for us to do a date stamp with and without formula, two ways for us to do a timestamp with and without formula, whichever that is your preference. I'm going to move on to my shortcut key, the shortcut key portion of this demonstration. So in the shortcut keys 1 worksheet, what we have here is a very standard table that every organization has. And very often, we like to sum up all the profit to see the sum of our profit. Now, there's a shortcut key to do this for you, and the shortcut key is alternate equals. So I'm going to put my active cell where I want the sum of profit to be, and I'll go ahead and press alternate equals. You'll notice that it will automatically generate the sum formula for you. So you don't need to type all of that. You just need to hit enter, and you will get the answer. Now, the alternate equal shortcut key is very versatile. I can also do it this way. So I'll highlight a couple of cells. I'll do alternate equals, and you'll see that will generate a bunch of sum formulas for me. Very quick shortcut key. You can even do it like this. I know it doesn't make sense for us to sum sales, expenses, and profit, but just to demonstrate how versatile this shortcut key is, if I press alternate equals, you'll see that it'll sum all the figures on the left-hand side for me. Yeah, so very useful shortcut key. The next shortcut key that I want to share is the Control A shortcut key, which is to highlight all. Yeah, so the A stands for all. Now, there are a few ways for you to use this shortcut key. The first way is, I want you to notice that my active cell is inside my data table. If I press Control A, you'll see that it will highlight my entire data table. This is actually a very useful shortcut key if you have a huge data table and you're trying to highlight the entire data table in one go. Yeah, so normally I'll notice people, they'll do this. Yeah, it takes a long time to highlight a huge chunk of data. So just randomly select a cell within your data table, press Control A, and it will be done for you. Now, what happens if your active cell is outside of your data table? So right now, my active cell is outside of my data table. And if I press Control A, you'll notice that it will highlight the entire worksheet. Yeah, so Control A does a couple of things. Now, if my active cell is inside my data table and my objective is to highlight the entire worksheet, I have to hit Control A 2 times. So the first time will highlight the data table. The second time will highlight the entire worksheet. The next shortcut key I'm going to share is Shift F2. This is a shortcut key for people who really like to add comments into Excel. So if I go to a cell and I press Shift F2, you'll see that it will add a comment. Yeah, so a nice shortcut key to add comments into your Excel worksheet. This shortcut key does two things. If your cell already has a comment and you press Shift F2, it will allow you to edit the comment. So Shift F2 can add comment for cells without a comment or edit comment for cells with a comment. Another useful shortcut key is Control Tilde or squiggy, if you like to call it. This is on next to your number 1. On top of tab, you'll find the sign. So if I hit that shortcut key, you'll notice that what it does is it will expose every single formula that you have inside your worksheet for your reference. Yeah, this is useful if you're trying to understand what is going on in your worksheet, or if you're trying to see which one has formula, which one doesn't have formula. Yeah, so this is a great way to just explore what's going on in your worksheet. If I press that shortcut key again, it will revert your data back to normal. So this shortcut key, what it does is it shows your formulas or it hides your formulas. Another shortcut key is the F12 shortcut key. So this is the shortcut key to save your document as another name. If I press F12 right now, you'll see that it opens up the Save As dialog box. Now, another shortcut key that is my favorite is the F2 shortcut key. This helps you to edit cells. I know a lot of people, when they want to edit content in their cells, they will either double-click to edit the data, or they'll click on the cell they want to edit, and they will click on the formula bar to edit. So if you use the F2 shortcut key, it immediately jumps into edit mode, and you can go ahead and edit the content of that cell. The second way that I like to use this shortcut key is for cells that have formulas. When I press F2, it will actually expose the formula and show me, using highlighted cells, where the formula is grabbing data from. Yeah, so this is one of my favorite shortcut keys. The other shortcut key that I want to share is the F4 shortcut key. I'm going to zoom in a little bit just for our comfort. And I want you to notice that my blinking cursor is touching the address C7. And if I hit F4 one time, I want you to notice that it adds double dollar signs into our address. I know I have not discussed what this dollar sign does in this session, because I'm only sharing shortcut keys. So if you already know how to use the double dollar sign, this is a quick shortcut key for you. If I keep pressing the F4, you'll notice that it will rotate the dollar sign to be in front of your column alphabet or your row number, or completely detach the dollar signs. Yeah, so it has 4 styles here as you keep pressing it. That's the F4 shortcut key. Let me share another useful one, which is Shift F11. So Shift F11 adds a worksheet into your file. I know usually when we want to add a worksheet, we use the plus sign over here, but Shift F11 does the same thing. So I'm going to press Shift F11 here, and you'll see that it will add in a new worksheet for me. I press it one more time, you'll see it adds in a second worksheet. So very useful. Now the next shortcut key is how to switch to other worksheets. And that is the Control Page Up or Page Down. So page up or page down indicates direction, whether I want to switch to the worksheet on the left or switch to the worksheet on the right. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to do Control Page Up first. You'll notice that I'm switching worksheets. If I keep pressing Control Page Up, I'm switching worksheets to my left. And if I do Control Page Down, I will be switching to worksheets on my right. So very useful shortcut key to navigate between your worksheets without using the mouse. Another useful shortcut key, Control Home. So very often our Excel worksheet has a lot of data, and you might be somewhere down at the end of your worksheet, and you want to quickly pop to the top of your worksheet. If you press Control Home, you will immediately jump to cell A1. This is a great way to pop to the top of your worksheet. The opposite of this is Control END, Control End. So if I press Control End right now, it will go to the end of my worksheet. Yeah. So quick ways to navigate to the top of your worksheet or to the bottom of your worksheet. Control Home and Control End. Sometimes people like to add in multiple lines. So let me just enlarge a cell. So if I'm trying to add in 2 lines into this cell, and usually when I'm doing this, I like to give myself a bit more space in the formula bar. So first line, and you cannot hit enter, because when you hit enter, it completes the line. Instead, what you need to do is to hit alternate enter. So if I press alternate enter here, you notice that it gives me a second line. Yeah, if I keep doing that, I can add in more lines. So alternate enter allows you to add in multiple lines into a single cell. Right, moving on to shortcut keys 2. I'm going to show you how to convert data into a table very quickly. So I want to change this into a table. Now, before you execute the shortcut key, you must make sure that your active cell is inside your table, yeah, for this to work. So my active cell is inside my table. I'll go ahead and press Ctrl T, and you'll see that the Create Table dialog box will open up for me. If I want to create a chart, now I have 2 shortcut keys to create charts to share. The first one is alternate F1. Again, your active cell must be touching the data so that Excel knows which data that you want to convert into a chart. So active cell inside your data table, I'll press alternate F1, and you see that will immediately create a chart for me, and the chart is within the same worksheet as my data table. The second way to create a chart, the shortcut key is F11. Again, make sure that your active cell is touching your data table. I'm going to hit F11, and you'll see what is different with this shortcut key. It creates a chart in its own worksheet. So essentially a full-size chart. Yeah. So 2 shortcut keys for creating charts. Depending on whether you want a full-size chart on its own worksheet or the chart within the same worksheet as your data table. another good shortcut key, Control F2. So Control F2 will open up the print preview dialog box for us. Moving on to the last worksheet. I'm going to show you some Excel-specific copy and paste shortcut keys. Yeah, so I'm not sharing Control C and Control V because this is very common shortcut keys that a lot of people already are familiar with. Instead, I'm going to show you Excel-specific copy and paste shortcut keys. So my objective here is to copy this cell to this cell. And the shortcut key is Control R. So if I press Control R, you see that will copy the data on the left cell to the right cell. So if I repeat that, if I press Control R, you'll see that it will copy the data from the left cell to the right cell. Now to copy to the bottom, the shortcut key is Control D. So if I press Control D right now, you'll see that it will copy the cell from the top to the bottom. Same thing here, Control D, copies from the top to the bottom. Yeah, so quick ways to very quickly copy data from the left or from the top. Now, the other shortcut key I want to show you is Control Enter. So let's say my objective is to type hello, but I'd like the word hello to be pasted across all the highlighted cells. So if I press Control Enter right now, you'll see that it will copy hello across every single cell that I have highlighted. So this could be useful if you're trying to type in a bunch of similar data. Yeah, just hit Control Enter instead of hitting Enter. So other shortcut keys, more common ones, Control S to save the file. So if I press Control S right now, you'll see that the file is now saved. This is not specific to Excel. This is a shortcut key for Microsoft Windows. Yeah, so if you use Microsoft Word, or if you're using Notepad and you press Control S, the same thing will happen. Control N will create a new document. So if I press Control N right now, it'll open up a new worksheet. If you are in Microsoft Word and you press Control N, it'll open up a new document, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so it's not Excel specific, but it's a Microsoft Windows shortcut key, Control N. And all of these shortcut keys are compiled for your reference in the file that we have emailed to everyone.